Hey everyone, just want to let you know that I do have a little disclaimer in this video because this all happened in early September as a heads up. And this is because that, well, one, I'm a lazy person. So there's a reason why I only post like bi-weekly, then weekly. And this also all happened like on the same time I was trying to get my intro videos out. But don't worry, you guys will catch up real soon because, you know, if you haven't caught that second video that I posted, my life is pretty boring. So don't worry about it. I just want to let you guys know I went on a blind date in like early September. I really wish I kept a conversation to this, but out of the moment of pettiness, I deleted it and unmatched him. This guy was from Bumble, which is the dating app that the girl has to reply first. I matched this guy and I had to be the one to reply first, otherwise the chat becomes like inactive after 24 hours. I was like, "Hi, how's your weekend?" This guy immediately replied back and said, "It was okay, could have been better with you in it." So I thought, okay, this guy's trying to be charming, you know? But before I could reply back to that, he already messaged me back already. Want to come over and watch a movie? I'm sorry, what? He invited me over to his place already? Like, this was like an instant red flag. But I dodged that real quick by saying I went running with my friends, which was true. I was out running with my friends already, even though I freaking hate running. But I swear, this could have been like a drinking game. Take a shot every time he invited me over. I think by the end of this whole thing, it would have been like 6 to 7 shots. This guy like just kept inviting me over though, like within the first 24 hours. So I decided to be real with him and I was like, to be honest, dude, I probably feel more comfortable if we actually got to know each other first. He says, "Oh sure, no problem. How about we play 20 questions? It's where we take turn asking each other questions, and honestly too. And no repeats like, well, what about you? I'll go first. Ever had a friends with benefits? And if not, would you?" This was his first question to this 20 question game. Never have I face palmed so hard or that often within 24 hours before. So eventually I had to reply back and then it was my turn, and at this point like I automatically didn't really want to be serious with this guy, and so I asked my friends, I was like, dude guys, like what should I ask him? What are your fetishes? And he says, wow, getting kinky, aren't we? Boy, you were getting kinky first. Like, who mentions friends with benefits on the very first question of 20 questions? What kind of question do you think I was supposed to ask after that? That, like, how is this not already going down, like, the relationship, the sex, like, that down that road, you know? When it got back to his turn to ask a question, he says, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to break the rule and ask, what are your fetishes?" And I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, you couldn't even last one round? You broke your own rule? So at this point, this guy was not leaving me alone, so I thought, like, you know, F this, like, I'll just go on one boba date and then just get this over with. Okay, well, I'm about to start work, so I'll probably record the rest of this when I actually get home. This will be in, like, 2 awkward settings, 2 awkward parts. Hey everyone, so yes, I am back at work to film part 2 of date number 1. I just find it a lot easier if I just film it at work instead of try filming at home where my parents could walk in on me trying to talk about modern dating. This guy wanted to reschedule so that we could have a more of a longer date, but I didn't want that. So I was like, no, it's okay, we'll just have it Friday night. I'll be free for a couple hours. What's done is done. Set in stone. Boba date, Friday night, 2 hours. This was one of the few screenshots that I actually kept, and he says, you know, we could also get something quick to go and come to my place so we can cuddle. Always a good way to relieve our long day at work and the stress of traffic. I don't remember what I actually said in response to this, but I also wouldn't put it past myself to just put down my phone, ignore it until the actual boba date. I didn't care that he was late for our date because what triumphed over that was the fact that he didn't look like his photos. So in his photo, he was kind of lean, but in person, I saw an in-progress beer belly, and he was definitely a lot more bulkier than I thought he was. So physical appearance wise, I was like, okay, that's fine, like whatever, that can change. We can eat healthy together, we can work out together, we can go on walks, whatever. Physical appearance can change. I'm not at the top of my game either, so whatever. What matters is if he was just as clingy, desperate, and thirsty in person as he was in our text messages. Spoiler alert, he was. So our conversations were like kind of okay. We talked about anime, supernatural, horror in general, how we can't handle horror but watch horror anyway. But to be honest, it was kind of stale and it felt really forced. So here is the moment of truth. He finally, propped his elbows onto the table and he like cupped his chin like this and he says, "So I have a proposition for you. I have a little offer right here. I think that you and I should go back to my place and cuddle. Just cuddle, I promise. And it won't be for too long either, because I know you have work tomorrow. So if you haven't seen my offer, there's my offer. What do you say to this?" No. And here was my reply, and I'm actually quite proud of this moment. So I basically mimicked him, and I was like, "So how many times have you used this offer?" And he was like, "Twice now, only once before." And I was like, "Okay, did it work the first time?" And he was like, "No, unfortunately it didn't." And then I was like, yeah, you're going 2 for 2 now." If I had a mic, that was my mic drop moment right there. But dang, it's just not as satisfying as having actual mic drop here. But my phone is the closest thing I have to a mic at the moment. I mentioned how girls don't typically go back to a guy's place on the first date because they're usually more cautious and paranoid. He didn't understand why that is. Didn't understand it at all. He was just like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Ooh, that's a red flag, bro." In general, that was kind of concerning to hear as well, that he didn't even have an idea, like at all, why. So we started walking back to the parking lot, and during the walk back, Erwin called me and pretended to be my dad like I told him to. So on the phone, he was like, "Where are you right now? You know it's almost 10, right? Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, it's okay, Dad. Like, I'm coming home right now. Don't worry about it." And then Erwin kind of like backtracked a little bit. He was like, "Really? Like, you're okay? You're safe? Do you need backup? Like, are you okay? You coming back now? Is it over?" And I was like, "Yeah, thanks, Dad. I'm coming home now. I know." And then we hung up, and then the Bumble date was like, "Wow, it's not even 10 yet though, and that call." And I was like, "Oh, you know how Asian parents are, very strict. They have me on a tight leash." So at this point, we're at the edge of the parking lot, and I was very scared that he was gonna walk me to my car because one, I didn't want to be trapped between my car, the car next to me, and him. Yeah, that was very concerning. Luckily he didn't though, and we were like walking through the parking lot, and then apparently I guess his car was on the other side of the lot, so when we had to like start splitting, he just stopped in the middle, and he was like, "Well, my car's over there." And I was like thinking in my head, "Oh, thank God, like he's not gonna walk me to my car." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, my car's this way." He kind of just like looked at me, and I was like, "Oh God, what is about to happen? Like, please don't do anything weird." And so I was like, "Okay, no, like a date, goodbye date, okay, minimum, a hug should be fine." And then he kind of started leaning forward with his arms up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, a hug." So but I was like holding my phone and my boba still, so I kind of gave him the side hug, the one arm hug. So when we did hug, he was using 2 arms to hug me, I was just using 1 arm. At first it was okay, I was like, "Oh, cool, like this thing's okay." And then, so he was just hugging me, and then what was unexpected was that he tightened the hug. If you guys don't know, this is called the boob hug. So the boob hug is when you go for a normal hug and it's like a regular tight hug, and then you squeeze the person harder so that you can feel the other person's boobs. Joke's on him, he only got one boob. I was like, oh Jesus, like, is this guy serious? He said he just did the boob hug. Oh God. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, this guy is very lonely. He seems pretty thirsty and desperate. He gets at least one boob feel, I guess. The guy never ended up messaging me back that night. So when I finished my work shift the next day, I thought, fuck it. Like, I gotta unmatch this guy and ghost him before he can ghost me. This is where the pettiness came in, and I just unmatched him real quick. I unfollowed him on Snapchat. I deleted like everything, and this is why I don't have any receipts, any more screenshots of our conversation to give you more of an accurate description of what really went on. And that, folks, was my second blind date ever and my first one since my last relationship. I do have one more update for you guys before you guys are completely caught up with my modern dating life, but honestly that kind of depends on how tonight goes. Like, literally tonight as I'm recording this video, so I don't really know what's going to be included in the next update. We'll see how this goes. Alright guys, thanks for cringing along with me as I relive this horrible memory. I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.